And hello and welcome. Just a little side video that I'm going to do here to do a couple of things. We've been testing the new video here in the new physical building that I'm in, and this is a kind of a further test of that. But also, I just wanted to take this moment to kind of catch up with the year 2021, kind of a wacky year that it's been, and get ready for 2022 and lots of exciting things that we want to look forward to in the coming year. So, I just, want to kind of run down things that have happened. And first of all, of course, starting with December, let me say Merry Christmas. But before I do that, a couple things. One of the things that I do all winter long is I drink tea, and I'm so happy to I collect these kind of teapots. These are borosilicate glass, and they used to be made in Germany, but because of Germany's different rules about pollution and stuff now, they've actually moved off the making of it to the Czech Republic. I don't know if that's good or bad, but that's what's happened. I always have just a little bit of lemon juice and a little bit of honey. And I happen to have my dad's favorite honey here today, although it's been around a long time. But this stuff is, just some of the finest honey you can get. You do know that a lot of the honey you buy, the clear honey that's in the bear-shaped jars and stuff, is now coming from a foreign country whose name we will not mention, China, but and is not necessarily all honey. This is all pure honey from Subi, and I really love it. I should get pat on the back for endorsing it. And so I don't know where I got the idea of drinking tea with honey and lemon, but I think it started back in the 70s when I was playing in what was called a show band in Canada. We were that way because we were more than just music, and we played in the bigger showrooms. And we were six people with six-part harmony, and a lot of us doubled up on instruments. I played the piano and the saxophone and the B3 Hammond organ sometimes. My friend Chuck Schumacher played bass guitar and trumpet, both at the same time. I played piano and saxophone sometimes at the same time. Jimmy, our keyboard player, now passed on, would play keyboards and sax and trumpet. So we had a lot of music going on stage. And probably one of the finest drummers that I have seen, even with all my travels around most of the free world. A guy named Murray Irving, who's as old as me. So we're as old as dirt now, Murray, if you see this. Murray had the gift of taking 4 or 5 regular musicians and just combining the sound into something that was unbelievable under his control of drumming, from loud to soft, from syncopated fast and slow, and because of his drumming, all the rest of us sounded phenomenal because we just had a wonderful group. And you get all that credit, Murray, back then. Some of the guys in the band went on to do some, and are doing some great things in music. But back then in the 70s, I'll tell you, the success of the band that we were in, called the Canadian Downbeats, was due to one guy, and that was Murray Irving. I got to get up in Canada and see him. He's on Facebook sometimes. So anyway, that's going way back in the Wayback Machine. I didn't intend to do that. But anyway, different singers that we sang with would drink tea with lemon and honey, and I think I just started it then, and that's that story. But really a quiet Christmas this year for me. I had never, ever missed a Christmas in Crookston, Minnesota, and with my parents until 1979. So from 51 to 79, just there was no question, no matter where I was. I'd been in Canada a few years, traveling in bands, working for Yamaha, whatever, but always home for Christmas, always Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. And just never missed. Then in 1979, it was my first foray to the West Coast, and ended up in a radio station in Las Vegas called KDWN, KDON, and was the new guy there. I just started in September, October, I don't remember which. And so I worked Christmas Eve and I worked Christmas Day. And the radio station was actually located in the Union Plaza Hotel. And so we'd walk through the casino actually to get to the radio station. And it was an interesting time, crazy for me to not be in church then. And then after that year, again, always either flying back home or living then in other places, Los Angeles, San Diego, Los Angeles area, actually, and in Tennessee, always home for Christmas. And then in 1994, March 3rd, 1994, I moved here, back to the farmhouse, back to, my childhood home, which was my father's childhood home. Great-grandpa bought this property in 1919 and put my grandfather and his then 3 kids in this house. And that was, Dad had moved out from town. They had lived in a big 4-square house in town. And along with that move came a building that's on the farm here yet, a pretty big building. It was an ice house and in town. My grandfather was in the dray business, in the ice business, and he literally delivered chunks of ice that were this big weekly or twice a weekly to the clients on his route. And that ice melting is what gave them some cool to keep milk and butter and cream and whatever else they wanted cool until electricity came. Electricity came here to the farm in 1946. And the water heater that was put in then lasted until just a couple of years ago. It was amazing. It had had new elements put in it over the years, but the actual water heater itself was here and finally sprung a leak after something like 70 years. You just don't get that kind of quality out of a water heater anymore. So I moved back here in March 3rd of 1994, and always till my mom passed in 2005, and then Dad in 10, always was with them at the holidays and continued that on, and now it's 2020. And had never missed church or anything. That's what this is leading up to. So this week, because of COVID, mainly, I'm just not out and about with people. I go to the doctor in the hospital, and I will see individual people, but I am just not going to be in any groups of people. I've had all my vaccinations. I've had my booster shot. I had my flu shot. I believe in science. Science, is not right or wrong. Science is as smart as we are at a given point, and that's why science can change as the years go by. But that's a whole other story. Anyway, so this last year of 21 was kind of unusual. I did get to go on a trip. I have to get all that video footage put together for you, because within that trip, I did get to Germany and then Saarland, a state in southwestern Germany by Frankfurt, into Paris for a day, Amsterdam for 2 days, 10 days up in Berlin, where, I kind of call that home, and then down to Rome for 3 nights. And what an experience that was. And then with that, also, I got on the cruise ship 2 weeks back to New York. From the cruise ship, a 5-minute ride over to the Amtrak train station, and took the Amtrak, the Lakeshore Limited, from New York to Chicago, a 3-hour layover, and the Northern Empire Builder, the Northern Route. Empire Builder that actually goes from Chicago to Portland and Seattle, but I got off in Grand Forks, North Dakota, just 20 minutes from home. It was an unbelievable trip. So that was wonderful. Expecting a lot of new and exciting things for 2022. It's amazing to think that we are in the 20s. Are these going to ultimately end up being the roaring 20s as the 1920s were, or what is it going to bring? Who would have thought that this sickness thing would be upon us the way it is? It'll be 2 years basically that I've certainly had a lifestyle change. March 16th of 2020, yes, was the day that the world changed here in Crookston, Minnesota. I don't know where it was for you. So anyway, I've got a trailer running at the bottom, and that's there just because I wanted to go over a couple of different things with you. Let's see if we can get a different virtual background here. This virtual background actually is part of my trip in Berlin. I got to meet Anna Grunenberg. Anna Grunenberg was a foreign exchange student in 94, 95 when Henry Forrester was here as my number one. And what a sweetheart she is. And it's just hard for me to believe that she also now is, if you do the math, is, in her 40s. Has three wonderful children. They're not even little kids anymore. But I remember as each one was born. And we got to go out. We went to the largest Chinese restaurant that I've ever seen. And this was the food delivered to our table. You can see there 3 different meals. My meal is behind me there in the upper right on your screen. Or is it left? I'm not sure if it's backwards on my screen. But it was the crispy duck, and it was exceptional. And we had just a wonderful meal and caught up with Anna Grunenberg, and just dearly love her. It's interesting. She's a Spanish teacher in Berlin, Germany. So she's teaching German kids how to speak Spanish. And that's really neat. Anyway, so going across the bottom, we have Chat Canna. That's a show that I think we're going to revitalize here. Canna, of course, for cannabis. Cannabis for hemp. Also, it does cover the other stuff. But we're in the hemp business. And it's going to be an exciting year for that, I think. There's going to be new things. The hemp business literally died in the United States for the growers, the little small growers that were bringing this industry on at the same time that the virus came on 2 years ago. And we are now still waiting for the business to pick up again. And I believe that this is going to be the year when we are going to get back and see that things are actually happening. And of course, part of my trip this year was the Eiffel Tower. I actually took this picture that you can see there behind me, and was up close and personal. Did not go up the Eiffel Tower, did not want to wait in line, and I've been up lots of elevators to lots of different towers and buildings and things, so just being there on the grounds was just an exciting thing. Also, Fly, Stay, Explore, that's also part of flystayexplore.com. You see me with a lot of those t-shirts on. That is our travel organization. We are not travel agents, but we set up travel for people. Right now I'm doing a May 10 days in Germany for some friends, a group of friends that are getting off a cruise ship in Copenhagen. And in the 10 days following that, we're going to do Berlin, Nuremberg for just a stop, really on the train, to eat at the world's oldest bratwurst sausage restaurant. Doesn't need any electricity to do the work. The lights in the place are electric, but the furnace, the stove that cooks the brats, and all the food is still all wood-fired, just like it's been for some hundreds of years. On to Munich, and a couple of days there, and then going across the south of Germany, we'll probably stop at the cathedral in Ulm, just because it's a wonderful place to get off the train halfway between the east and west side of Germany and get a little food. The neat thing about the train stations in Germany is they have lockers. And you can get off and put your luggage in a locker and take the key, and you put a couple euros in it. And then you can wander around the city and do your exploring and do your eating and get back to the train station and pick up your luggage, and you are back on the train. And with our Rail Europe passes, ask me about Rail Europe passes, but it's one cost. 24 hours of riding the train is one notch on your Rail Europe pass. We usually buy 5 days that can be used anytime in a couple of months. And then you just pick the days you want to travel, and then you mark that in your pass. It's all electronic now. It all happened on our cell phone, which was an interesting thing. Because it used to be that you had to get paper, and the papers had to be sent to you before you left the United States and everything. Now you can do it all online. It's just really wonderful. It only qualifies for non-residents of Schengen, which is the larger European Union group of countries. So Americans, Canadians, I guess if you're from Mexico, it qualifies. And you get unlimited first or second class travel. You pick. Why would you not pick first? It's hardly any more expensive. And that's 3 seats across, great big Barcalounger chairs like the old first class seats used to be on the transatlantic flights. You can have food delivered right to your table if you want. The food on Amtrak, that's a different discussion. The food on the German ICE, Intercity Express, or IC Intercity, but not Express, is great, is just great. And in first class, they'll bring it right to your table and you can eat without getting up and going into the commons eating area. Again, all about masks and trying to stay separate. So if you need anything put together, if you have a group of people, we will hook you up with the best travel agent for your experience. But I will set you up, and I can do, or I'm experienced in doing this and giving you an incredible journey in most of Europe. Great Britain, France, Spain, Germany, Austria, Poland, not a whole country, but Poland is part of Germany. And I would tell you that we're bringing Italy online with that, but don't have that in the bag yet. So other than the 3 days in Rome, I have not yet done Italy to the point that I would want to set people up on and be responsible for their good times. Of course, Cinque Terre, the northwest part of Rome on the Mediterranean, my next journey as soon as we're not wearing masks. And once I have more of Rome, I have boots on the ground in Bari and now in Rome. And another thing that you'll see on the trailer here is boots on the ground. And what is that, you ask? I have people, associates, colleagues, if you want, that's the European word, on the ground in a lot of places that are in or associated with the travel businesses in some way. So, for instance, if you're literally anywhere in Germany and you're, in something that I've arranged, you're not just hanging out there. And, John is either a phone call away or has to be on the trip with you. I have boots on the ground in 7 places in Germany, 1 place in France, and 2 places, in Great Britain, in several places in Great Britain, but both in London and in Scotland. And so we have people that are right there. If there should be, God forbid, an emergency where you really need an advocate or something, we have people right there that are there to reach out and help. Canna RHX is our hemp raising business. And for 2 years, we're a small research and development hemp company. We are not a giant fields or even, 10 acres or 5 acres. We grow plants by 10 or 20 or 50. The largest of anything we had 550 one year. And we still have product on that we're doing research and development on. But we are motivated to be some of the people that bring the medicinal qualities of this incredible plant to market and to help people. And we have some initial successes that are beyond measure. But of course, when you have a one-off success, you don't know. But we are getting more and more successes, and we now have attracted some of the people in the actual medical profession that want to go, just what is it that you have, and what are you giving my client? Because we have had some really neat successes. So that's an exciting thing that's going on. Help Desk Guys, of course, is my 25-year-old business where we that's why you're hearing beeps and pops. That's data coming in or calls coming in. And we are live answering service for your company. And we can set it up on as many hours a week as you want and at whatever level of technology you want, from really helping people texting or with databases that have, 99% of the answers, all the way up to a product that we've had since the 90s called Help Desk Guys, where we are live and we are there to help people. With I don't care what country the people are in that work for me, but with American accents, actually Minnesota accents, if you want to have a little fun. So you're not dealing with you're not having a communication problem along with whatever problem you might be having with a company's product or service. And so that's been exciting. I've had over 80 employees through that since that business started. And some of them have gone on to do just really, really great things themselves. It's just been a wonderful time. If you have any questions about any of the companies that we run, any of the business that we're in, please hit me up, facebook.com/Reitmeyer. I'm an early adapter to social media, and very few people have just their last name as their Facebook address or account. But you will find me there, chat with me there, and we'll see if what we do is good for what you need. And if it's not, I will tell you that too, and I could maybe move you off to another colleague or associate that is more specialized in what you need, or just tell you, I can't help you. The thing that I promise you is we never do something that we don't know. We are always ahead of that curve, and we have some real specialized people on the team. Some of them that have already retired. And there's one more I guess I should add on there is, my number one, who you hear me talk about, Henry Forrester in Berlin. If you go to, I don't have that slide to put up. And I could get it, except I have a dog that's like telling me that I'm going to be petting her all the time. But he has won 4 Promax Awards. One of them, by the way, with my voice on it. But he has won 4 Promax Awards. And that is the biggest advertising award that you can get for all of the European Union. Just like, Grammys are for music, Emmys are for television, Oscars are for movies. They have a giant award system called Promax over in Europe. And he has got 4 of them. Gold and silver, 1 and 2. I don't think he has a bronze even. The 4 that he have are both gold or silver. I was on the silver one, not the gold one. Oh, wow. But he can do incredible video and has shot some things that have, for different companies, that has, been in gear, and you've seen it from around the world. Not only that, he's a world traveler himself. The first thing that happened when he retired from his daily grind job was I booked an around-the-world flight ticket for him. This was before our current situation, of course, at, I think, 41 years old. And he shot video literally all the way around the world, stopping, just some of the countries all around Africa, all around South America, all around Asia. New Zealand was a particularly video-centric place. Australia, India, and many, many other countries, along the way. Hong Kong, Singapore, Thailand, that peninsula there. I'm not sure. I don't remember just exactly which countries he was in between, Thailand, Vietnam, Burma, that whole peninsula there. And he just does incredible video, and we have that service available to you. He has, with my colleague in Utah, he is always editing. He couldn't do the last editing project due to time constraints. They hired somebody else. And then just last week, they got a call and saying, can you fix what this guy did? And that's what he is so talented at. He is just smart and Mr. Video. The joke was when he was here as a foreign exchange student the first year, we only knew that he had one eye because he had a video camera, a big one at that time in 94, 95. He had a video camera in the other eye the entire year that he was here. So that's about everything for 2001 and what we do. Looking forward to an exciting, exciting year for 2022. Certainly changed. I work on Zoom. I work on Microsoft Teams. I work on too many Skype constantly. But a part of Skype that is the video section. That's why I paused on it. and Facebook, of course, live. So I'm doing things in those 4 formats and any other format you might have. You will find that I will ask to meet with you on video rather than a telephone call, because I think that face-to-face, eye-to-eye looking at somebody is the most important kind of business communication that we can have. So this was a long, drawn-out time to just say Merry Christmas from the bottom of my heart. God's blessings to you and your family and your business efforts this year and whatever you might be in. If there's some way that we can partner with you and be a part of that, boy, excited and happy to do that. Get a hold of us. And if not, if you just want to sit and have some hot tea on a video chat and talk about business, happy to do that too. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and let's look forward to exciting times coming ahead.